open Q&A session, and I would be moderating the Q&A section so that all the international startups who want to expand to Vietnam can have questions for our speakers. All right, so Michelle, do you think that we can start now by introducing the series of the seminar, introducing press and BSSC?
Yeah, sure. Let's get started. Thank you.
Right, cool. Hello everyone. I know that people still keep joining in the link, but I'm just going to take a few minutes to introduce the section today. We from BSSC, Business Startup Support Center in Vietnam, we have collaborated with Press Ventures to organize a series of talk that we named Go Global Talk. So the main purpose is to support international startups who want to expand to the Vietnam market, to understand more about the market over here, and also to connect with potential partners in Vietnam market. So today, for today's talk, we have invited the three speakers. So I just want to take 1 minute to introduce our speakers for today. So we've got Mr. Mai Trung Giang. He's the chairman of OK Chicken Vietnam. He's also the chairman of Chewy Chewy. So Mr. Yang has more than 15 years of experience in the F&B and in retail in the Vietnam market, and he has a lot of ups and downs in the Vietnamese market already, and he will be very happy to share this with all of you guys, especially those who are interested in one of the most interesting and the fast-growing sector in the Vietnam market. And we have our next speaker, Mr. Austin Carter. So Mr. Austin, he's from Canada, but he has chosen to start his own startup here in Vietnam. And after 5 years, his business has grown to be one of the largest review and booking platform for education here in Vietnam. And I believe he would have a great story to share with you, as an international founder and business owner in Vietnam, what the opportunities and what the challenges are for him specifically when working in the Vietnamese market. And we hope that from the insights of Mr. Austin, you guys as international startup founders would have a deeper understanding of what lies ahead if you choose to start your business here in Vietnam. Our next speaker would be Mr. Thaksum Kim. So Mr. Kim studied and worked in the US for a very long time before coming back to Vietnam and start his own business. So Mr. Kim also has a very combined experience and expertise of working both abroad and in Vietnam. And when we talk about e-commerce in Vietnam, this is a very booming sector of e-commerce, but I understand that e-commerce is a very large sector, and many of you guys have already learned about the e-commerce market in Vietnam. So with Mr. Kim, we invite him to share with you some of the niche market in e-commerce and how he is targeting that niche market, and how his and what are the ways of understanding the behaviors of the consumers, of Vietnamese consumer in the e-commerce sector. Yeah, so that will be the three speakers for today. I hope that after their sharing and their talk, you would have questions for our speakers So these speakers we have invited are those that have experience both in international markets and Vietnamese markets. And we believe that would be the best options, the best speakers at the moment to share with you guys international startups who want to expand to Vietnam. So there will be, the view from both sides. And from the talk as well, we hope that some of you guys would be able to find, potential partners if you seek to expand to the Vietnamese market. So Michelle, would you like to share a little bit before we begin with one of our first speakers?
Sure, thank you, Ms. Anha, for sharing about BSSC, IBP, and also the speakers. I hope everyone can hear me well. Can everyone hear me well?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, so I would like to thank IBP and also BSSC for co-organizing this Vietnam Global Innovation Seminar together, and also sharing the insights with our Vietnam Global Innovation startups from Singapore. So Quest Ventures, for those who haven't met Quest Ventures yet, we are one of the leading venture fund in Southeast Asia, so investing in the best startups in the digital economy space. And also recently, we have entered into Central Asia to capture high growth in that part of the world. And today we are glad to have the various speakers from Vietnam to help our startups enter into Vietnam and other parts of Southeast Asia. So thank you, Mr. Mai, Mr. Austin, and Mr. Ta for taking time to share with us today and to help our companies learn about doing business in Vietnam and navigating like partnerships and building relationships. Thank you.
Okay,
I'll pass the time back. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. So I think without much further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Hiển Tạ to be the first speaker and to open, the section today. So Mr. Hiển Tạ will share with us the very niche market of e-commerce and how he has been navigating this niche market. And from there, I believe that we could learn a lot about how to target, consumers in Vietnam and how to navigate one of the niche market in e-commerce. So the stage is all yours, Mr. Hiển. So you would have 10 to 15 minutes to for our sharing, for your sharing. Thank you. Oh, anh Hiển, you're on mute. You're still on mute. Right.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly well.
Perfect. Okay. Hi, everybody. Very nice to know everybody here, and my name is Hiển, and I'm co-founder and CEO of Julux.com, and and today I want to share with you guys some some points about the e-commerce in Vietnam, and so okay, let me share my screen here. Okay, that's it. So just a moment, let me. Just tell me it's a moment I set my screen here. Okay.
Is everything okay? Mr. Hiển is...
I'm trying to share my screen, but I don't know why it's not.
If you move to the bottom, there would be a green button say share screen.
I see. I see here, but it's going to like. Just try. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, I think like from the share screen button, when you click and you can select the screen
Okay,
that you would like to share.
we've got your slides as well, so we're going to share your slide for you. No worries. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna share the slides for you. Okay, so can everyone see the screen now?
Yes, we are able
Alright.
to see the screen.
All right, yeah, we got the slide. So Mr. Hiển, you could start now. Sorry for the technical problem.
Okay, so sorry a little time for fixing this. And okay, so today I'm going to share with you guys some, I think that's special points about the e-commerce in Vietnam. So there's a lot of like information you guys can like finding from Google or from any report about the e-commerce in Vietnam. But I don't want to tell again about those numbers. And now I just want to share some like points that's really from my experience. I has been working in e-commerce for like 7 years, and especially for 4 years in Vietnamese markets. And I see a lot of like opportunities for startup in this market, and but as well a lot of challenge. So okay, so let me start with the first slides. So we have big four in Vietnamese e-commerce, including Shopee, Lazada, Tiki, and Sandals. So probably you guys can see that Shopee and Lazada is from the foreigners, foreign countries like Shopee and Tiki and Sandal is the local players. So uh, we still say that e-commerce in Vietnam is still the burning game because it's need to burn a lot of money. So those big four is still burning, and you probably know that those players uh, get a lot of investment from the big companies like Shopee from the C, Lazada from Alibaba, and Tiki and Sandal as well from the foreign investment. So they're still burning and get a lot like the big get the top of the traffic to the website and the revenue and the share to the markets. And we have some smaller player, but it's still like very far from those big four. Uh, so okay, so let's go to the next slide. So I want to like actually because e-commerce in Vietnam is the burning game. So we see a lot of like another player that's already left to the market. Recently, we see the Le Flair. Le Flair is the e-commerce, the platform for the branded luxury, the branded goods, and actually they already a little far from like I mean the segment is a little far from the remains the big four, but during this growth they still go like become the competitor with those big fours. So finally the burning game is still happen again with the Leclerc, and actually they I mean they already left. So I still remember one of the big e-commerce platform when they left the market. They left the in the I mean the at the website. They left the information like we left the market not because we leave the market not because we don't have money, just because that's uh, the burning game is really weird. So even that's here, Adezoy and Lotte.vn is belong to the big company like Vingroup or Lotte, or even Vui Vui.com is belong to Thế giới di động. It's very big company, but they still have a lot of money, but they don't want to burn money anymore because it's a real game in Vietnam. So those players here, just the big players, but we still have a more and more player. Actually, I don't want to mention here, but we have still more and more e-commerce players uh, leave to the market. So the question is, if that's the e-commerce is still the burning game, do we still have an opportunity for the startup to enter to this market? So that is the question that I had when I started to my business 4 years ago. So I thought that if I want to start with the e-commerce business, but the same as the big players that's existing in the market, I don't have any opportunity. So I thought that, okay, if we want to go there, we need to go to the niche market. So the first point I want to, like, from my experience, if a startup want to enter the e-commerce market, they need to choose the niche market. So that's not compete with any another big player that's like big four now. So, but another thing, if we want to choose the niche market, it should be big enough. For example, if you, we have a lot, we can easily choose the niche market, right? But if we choose the small markets, for me, it's not enough to start. It's not have like potential to growth, to scale. So I think if we choose a niche market to enter the e-commerce market here, we need to estimate what is the market size of the niche market and what is the potential to growth, the market's growth. So that is 2 points that I always want to tell the startups if they want to enter this market. So let me go with my case study, like from my history, okay? So Zulux.com. So at the first time I started my business with BD.vn. So BD.vn is online auction for collectibles. So the niche markets I selected was the collectibles market. So I can like verify my hypothesis with the niche markets by that because after 1.5 years, I can say we are one of the top bidding platform in Vietnam for collectibles. We win the market. I can say that we win the market very fast. Like we start with some collectible like zipper or figure or cosmetic or something that's very niche. And after 1.5 years, I say that we are #1 in each niche market. And so I can say that if we can start with niche market, we can fast and easier to win that market. But at that point, I didn't think about the second point. The market is big enough or not. So after 1.5 years, even we are one of the big bidding platform in Vietnam, but I start to feel that the market is already get the highest point. I mean the size already get the maximize or get the highest point. So we cannot grow anymore. We cannot scale the business anymore. So at that point, though, we have to stop BD.vn and we pivot it. We change the models and we change to another market, but still the niche market. What is the secondary market for the luxury good. So we changed from BD to Zulux.vn, and at that point I thought that pre-owned, I mean the secondary market for the luxury goods is a big it's a big problem and the big markets, but still the new market. So when we start with Zulux.com with that niche market, I can say we until now we don't have the direct competitors. We not directly compete with the big four because our I can say our products AOV is very far from this AOV of the big four. The maximizer, the highest AOV, I mean, the big four can they are getting now. I can say from like Lazada and Shopee is around like $10, but our AOV is $500. It's much far from those big four. So we don't have direct competitors now. And so now we just grow and we're not spending money for the competitive game. And as well, we not, actually we still spend money for marketing, but I think we're not kind of burning money for this market. So, and as well, until now we are break even. It means that we can like we can calculate the spending and the revenues, and we can get the profit. So we not enter the burning game, so we can get profitable. So so I think I know that in the futures we want to have some player coming to this market, to our niche market. But now we are the number one, and we are can like we can have a lot of strategies like to keep our position at the first position in this niche market. So so yeah, so that's 2 points that I want to tell to share about this. Any startup, if you guys want to enter the e-commerce in Vietnam. So first thing is think about the niche market, and second thing is estimate the niche market is big enough or not. So another challenge that I want to share with you, we are still facing that challenge, and because we are the e-commerce business. So let's go to next slide. Okay, so now, okay, I just mentioned about the niche markets that you want to select when we want to enter this market. So the question is, which niche market is we can think about the potential niche market that we think about. So I'm giving you the information about the some niche markets that's growth in Vietnam. So you can see that's here. From this, you can think about some niche market here you can enter. So like Zulux, we are entering the fast and beauties niche market. And each niche market here, maybe we still have the big player, like, food and something. We have Grab, and we have delivery Grab, and we have another big like Bimin, something like this. So for each niche market as well, you need to estimate about the do we have the existing big player or not to enter. So yeah, so from this information, you probably can think about which is suitable niche market that you can enter to Vietnam and grow enough, and as well don't have any existing players. Okay, let's go to next. So, okay, those thing is the challenge that I think every e-commerce businesses in Vietnam need to face. Even Zulux now, we are facing the same this challenge. So, the logistic and delivery system is still not, I mean, the development is not like well, like compared to the growth of the e-commerce. So we are still have some like players in this game, logistic and delivery system, delivery services, but we still need a lot of improvement. For example, for Zulux, we pretty new. The logistics is very new with the luxury business. We have to form our own logistics system because we don't have any player now in the market can deliver the luxurious good. So we have to build and as well to form our own system. For the payment, you know that e-commerce in Vietnam, we mostly more than 90% is COD. And so every e-commerce platform providing that service. But like like Zulus, we mostly we don't provide the COD because it's very high price products, but we get a lot of like requests from our customer that they need the COD. So the COD is the big problem. I think we need time to fix that. The trust, for sure, you know that's a big problem with the customer in Vietnam. They still not trust the online business. Some business like luxury business like us, the trust is even more. People need a lot of trust to buy the high price items. So the trust you need to convince people because we still have a lot of like the mistake, the problem happening when people not like receiving what they place the orders. So that's the trust is still important for e-commerce, and the legal and policy framework as well. Our government still supporting our e-commerce business, but the policy and the legal framework still not it's not enough to support to have the e-commerce business can be growth, especially for some small businesses in that market. So those challenges. So Zulux and every another even the big four and every startup, if they want to enter this market, they need to think about they can solve those challenges, the problem. So the business can grow like stably. Okay, so that's it for my sharing. So again, those from my experience when I grow my business in the e-commerce market, and I hope that if you want to go to start the Vietnam e-commerce markets, you can think about some point that I just shared with you. And if you want to like get more advice like in this market, like as startup, okay, just contact me so I can share with you all about my experience. And thank you.
Thank you, Anh Hiển. Thank you, Anh Hiển, for your great sharing. I think the challenges that Hiển has just mentioned regarding logistics, payment, and trust. All of these challenges open opportunities for the solution from the tech startups. So I guess it would be a great opportunity for international startups as well when you consider these sectors when entering into the Vietnamese market. Our next speaker, I would like to welcome Mr. Austin from Edu Review. So Mr. Austin will share with us the opportunities and challenges of running a business in Vietnam as a foreigner. So I think this is a very unique insight to all of us too. So Austin, the stage is yours.
Great, thank you, Miss Anne, and thank you, Hing, for the sharing. So yeah, just getting into this, I'm going to talk a little bit about the perspective of entering the Vietnamese market as a foreigner or expat, and just a little bit about me. I'm from Canada. Previously, I was working in equity research and then moved into technology consulting. While I was in university, I had the fortunate opportunity to go and study abroad. While studying abroad, I met one of the most creative, hardworking people I've ever known, a Vietnamese guy. and we became very good friends. And after university, continued to keep in touch. And then about 5 years ago, he gave me a call one day and told me this idea for a company to improve education across Asia. Like many of you guys, I thought, okay, well, Vietnam, very young, big opportunity, big market that's growing, and Southeast Asia especially. So I quit my job and moved here to start building 802 Review. 802 Review is an education review and booking platform. So online to offline model. Imagine something like booking.com for hotels, except instead of a hotel, you would book a private English school or private teaching school. We've grown to 7.5 million users last year, 100% year-over-year growth. We now work with more than 500 education institutions and more than 1,000 university partnerships. So just a little bit of perspective kind of from the foreigner outlook, looking at the challenges. So one of the big personal challenges that I had when starting up the company here was around language and culture. So what it means when you don't speak the local language is that basically everything is being translated for you. So some people in Vietnam do speak English quite well, of course, like our presenters today and Miss Anne, but the majority of the population does not. And so when you're communicating something, especially if it's a bit of a complex idea, you really, really have to kind of simplify and make sure you have clear communication. It's kind of frustrating sometimes as a founder if you want to go and like run a marketing campaign or do the messaging on your website. You're not going to be able to get the exact translation right. So getting that messaging can be difficult. The second challenge, I think this is more of a market challenge if you're coming from somewhere like Singapore, is the low revenue per customer. So if you look at the GDP of Singapore, you've got a GDP of 360 billion or something. Inside Vietnam, it's about 275 billion. So the GDP in Singapore is still larger. So when you're looking at the specific market that you're going into, you've got to take into account like, yes, there's a lot more people, but is the spending per person the same? So you can really get a good idea of like what your market size is. So what that means that if maybe your B2B customer service that you have is $1,000 a year, you may have fewer companies that are willing to pay $1,000 a year here than you would have in Singapore. So that means you may have to lower your price point, or and that's gonna change your marketing strategy and distribution strategy. So I think that's quite important to think about when you're coming into the market. The other challenge I think is, especially if you're coming from a developed market like Singapore, is kind of customer sophistication. So maybe you're working with something AI, data, fintech related, and you're trying to sell that to a B2B partner. First, you've got to find someone within the organization that really understands the value and benefit of it. And then when you're presenting it to them, you kind of have to hope that they also speak English or understand how you're communicating to them. So that comes back to the language part where you're communicating your value to the key decision maker. That may actually have to be translated. So that can be another challenge that you're likely to have to overcome. Now, kind of on the big positive sides of things, Vietnam, 100 million people, very young demographic. I think like 50% are under the age of 30. So they're very willing to try new things. So if you're a B2C company, especially, people are really interested to at least try your startup and like try your product at first. Secondly, on the market side of things, like it's pretty easy to get set up, and the costs, especially compared to Singapore, is considerably lower. So you can set up like an office, get maybe a first, use recruiters, find your first hires, get the initial setup costs quite quickly and relatively inexpensively with less red tape than you'd have to go through in maybe Japan or Singapore. On the kind of individual side of things, the opportunity that you have as a foreigner or someone coming from outside, I found is the accessibility factor. So I've been able to reach out to like the CEO of Starbucks or for the Vietnam market, or the directors of pretty major consumer brand companies that I probably wouldn't have had the same ease of connecting with in maybe the US or Japan or somewhere else. So I think that accessibility thing is something you can use to your advantage. The secondly is like your professional standards. So this is something like maybe a lot of you previously working in banking or consulting or one of these big international companies, and they've trained you extremely well, bringing that kind of the high standard of what is kind of the best in the world. You can use that when you're recruiting. So people will want to work with you from within Vietnam because there's a lot to learn. Also, if you bring that standard to your product, you're kind of bringing a world-class standard to the market, and that can set you above some of your competitors. So just kind of like 3 key tips I think I'd say to wrap up here. Number one that's been really most helpful for me, I think, and most important, is to have a real trusted local partner. This is going to save you a ton of time, headaches, and give you a competitive advantage in doing things like recruiting, handling things like payroll, optimizing your kind of tax efficiencies to keep things low cost as possible. There's just hundreds of situations where you're going to feel good that you have a really trusted local partner to help you. Number 2 is that being a unicorn, yes, we're going to be billion-dollar companies, but also like use that kind of uniqueness that you have as a foreigner coming into the country to your advantage. So you can use that in recruiting and bringing on really good quality talent. You can use it in the accessibility thing I talked about before. So you're going to see ways that you can really leverage this to your advantage. And finally, kind of a personal way of seeing things is to put in 100% commitment. If you're setting up an office here, especially for a team here, you're probably going to need a founder here full time, just so that you can really set that culture and get a deep understanding of what are the small intricacies in the market that you're going to have to adapt to that you may not get if you're flying in, flying out every couple of weeks. So those are kind of the tips I give advice on. If you guys want to contact or talk more, we can do the Q&A or just contact me on LinkedIn.
Interesting. Thank you for a great talk and great sharing. I'm very glad that after so many years in Vietnam, and you have finally grown your business to a success. And with you being here and share with us all of those experiences, is very great talk for us. And I think some of the international startups in this seminar could relate to your experience and may have some questions related to that later. So our last speaker would be Mr. Trường Giang. He has great experience in the F&B and in the retail business here in Vietnam, and he would like to share with you, his experience and also some of the potential that he sees in collaborating with startups either in Vietnam or from international market. So, Mr. Giang, the stage is yours. I think you could turn on your video so that people could see. Actually, Mr. Yang is sitting next to me, so if you have any questions, you can ask him later.
Hi, everyone.
I would ask him for you, right?
Yeah, hi, everyone. Sorry for being late. I'm actually studying in Singapore. I don't know any one of you study the same school with me, which is Nghi Polytechnic. So I come back to Ho Chi Minh and started my first F&B business in 2009. Up to now, I'm having 3 F&B chain restaurant, and was invested by one of the private equity fund in Vietnam. The name is VI Group. And before COVID, actually we are focusing on expansion of our restaurant in Ho Chi Minh City and in Hanoi or Da Nang. But when the COVID time, they attacked us in March, and we have social distance in April in Ho Chi Minh. Most of our F&B restaurant have to close. We cannot do the dining business as usual. So we have to think of a new way of continuing the business. So I have done some research, and we decided to open a cloud kitchen. I think many of you know about food delivery market is a new trending in everywhere now, but especially in Ho Chi Minh City is one of the biggest food delivery market. Right now, I will share with you guys my new model we call Chef Station, and yeah, the slide. Okay, bio. Okay, so as other cloud kitchen, so we are one of the first player in the market. So we started the first one in early of this month, and we focusing on acquire the good brand, good food. So we use the three platform. The most popular platform delivery right now in the market is GrabFood. It's the #1 in the market, and second is Now Food, and the third one is Bamin. Bamin is one of the new player from South Korea. This is our cloud kitchen. So this is my my profile. I started the master franchise of Chewy Junior from Singapore in September 2009, and after that this brand was invested by private equity, and the next startup is Untitled Chicken, is a famous Korean fried chicken. And right now I'm doing the new cloud kitchen is Chef Station, and I will go through some of the number. At the moment in Southeast Asia, the revenue for online food delivery market is about 3.4 billion, and Vietnam the amount is about 302 million in 2020. This is the total GMV for the market in Vietnam, and the growth is in Vietnam is about 16.5%. In Southeast Asia is about 12.9%, and resulting in the market for Vietnam by 2024 is 557 million for the online food market. Of course, and the biggest online food market is in China. It's about 51 million US dollar. And for the internet, for Vietnam, right now, Vietnam, the internet, the market size is about 12 billion in 2019. And they are continue to grow every year. It's about 38%. Yep. And this one is the number of user. The number of user that we have researched in Southeast Asia online food market is 89.5 million user, and for Vietnam is 17.37 million user by 2024. Right now in Vietnam is only 10.56 million. So for this, the growth every year is about 9.8% in Vietnam, and Southeast Asia is 16.3%. This is those that the research say that in 2018 we have 137 deals has done in Vietnam. This is included all the tech startup has been funded, and half of the year in 2019 there's a 54 deals, and the total funding value is about 260 million. So according to statistics, it's the 38% of the Southeast Asia user they generally, and 32% of Vietnam user they use food online market. Their age is from 25 to 34 years old, and up to 46.4% of the user in Vietnam that they are high income group. It's different from the Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia is the low income user is by 43%. So the largest city that using most of the food online market is the Ho Chi Minh City. The second will be Hanoi, and the third one is Da Nang. So this is the market size for the three player. Actually, this one should be the third one is the Bamin, but this research has been done earlier this year, so we don't have the Bamin percentage in this statistic. We have Delivery Now. Delivery Now actually acquired by C Group, and GrabFood. GrabFood is the first and then the largest food delivery right now in Vietnam, and the third one is Bamin. Bamin is just joined the market in May 2019, and right now the market size for Bamin is number one. They are become stronger and stronger because of the funding from the mother company, and GrabFood is second place now. This is the market share and the growth rate for online food delivery. So you guys can see that now has a revenue about 11 million US dollar in 2018, and GrabFood they have about 96 million. They occupy 65% of market share in 2018. But I share right now in 2020, this number has been changed a lot, and Bamin has become the number one in the market for food delivery already. Okay, so now I just share all the number, and maybe because I'm coming late, so maybe you guys can give the Q&A. Then we will share the local market more for your Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anh for your presentation. So I think we have come to the Q&A session. I know that it's a little bit delayed, but it's an online seminar, so it has been quite hard to controlling the time. So please, could you just have some questions for the speakers? I know that one of you guys already have a questions for Austin. So I think Austin, you could just jump in and clarify on the questions specifically for you.
Yes, thanks, Juan. So for the specific question, I think it really depends on the B2B software that you're offering, and which, how in depth are you getting with their system. To give you some kind of baseline numbers of things that we pay for, our local kind of telesales software system, we pay about $500 a year. For our CRM, which is also a local product, it's maybe $600 or $700 per year. So that's just a couple of the service tools we use, but I think you really have to dig in on which B2B SaaS product you're working with or talking about. And it should have something that probably scales up in pricing with usage.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so before anyone has any more questions, I know that Mr. Yang has a lot of experience in F&B and has been in the business for quite some time. And what you view on the need for digital transformation in the F&B industry, and how open are you in working with startups in your digital transformation journey? How about with international startups? So those are the two questions for you.
Yeah, sure. So before the COVID time, so most of the F&B owner in Vietnam, we rarely talk about digital transformation. and we have just focused. We was focusing on expansion our offline restaurant, and after the COVID hit us, and we organized a lot of webinar like this to share about how we going to online, and how are we going to transform our company into more digital. And of course, in the local market, there are plenty of startups that had been doing digital transformation for F&B owner like us, and they're giving us a lot of good information and good consulting, how to and then optimize our operation when we are bringing our company, our restaurant online. So this is something that we are doing right now, and we are focusing right now. But for international startup, if you guys want to join in Vietnam market, I think is a good opportunity, because for the local startup, they of course they have the better advantage because they understand the inside of the local market. But for the foreigner like Singapore, we are very close, and most of the startup here, they also clone the model from overseas as well. So I think if you guys come into Vietnam, I think it's a big opportunity as well. And inside our company, we also are working with one of the foreigner startup company as well, which is from Australia, but they are Vietnamese Australian. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Anya. So as you guys have seen, there is a certain opportunity and potential for international startup to find partners in the Vietnamese market. Has anyone have more questions for the speaker? Okay, so if I would like to have a question for Mr. Hiển regarding the e-commerce market. I know that Mr. Hiển has been working with both the consumers and the business partners. So could you share with us some of the challenges in working with the consumer, working with the business partner at the same time? And in your view, which seller, I mean B2C or B2B, which seller would be more attractive for international startup coming to the Vietnamese market? Mr. Kim. Okay, yeah, here you
Okay.
are.
Okay, I got the question. So B2B and B2C. So let's say from my point of views, I can say now, for example, now I am in one of the accelerators, and in the profile of the accelerators, only Zulux is B2C business. So all of them is B2B business. So what I'm seeing here is the B2B is still the good option for the startup, even like for Vietnamese startups, and as well for the foreigner startup want to enter the Vietnamese market. And I think because B2C is something like Zulux is working with the end users is more difficult, and as well you need to maybe spend more money for marketing, for educating the customers. So that's why they still like avoid the B2C business. So so that's why I see that's a lot nowadays from my network. Startup network in Vietnam, as well some foreigners from partners as well from the foreign countries come to Vietnam. They still prefer to do the B2B market. I think that's I don't know. I feel like maybe it's like maybe not burn more money like B2C business. So even that's Tiki, big Tiki before they B2C as well, but now they changed to B2B to C. So they have B as well on the model. So I think that's maybe so that you can see that the trend, and for startup now for prefer to do the B2B models. Yeah.
Mr. Hiển, in the tech section. So the question is, besides e-commerce platform, does Julep has any demands for an app or any digital solutions?
Can you say again a little more louder? I'm sorry, I couldn't.
Or it's in the chat section. You can take a look at that. So the question is, beside the e-commerce platform that Julep has now, does Julep have any demands for app or any digital solutions? And you have, I just want to dig a little bit deeper. You have mentioned some of the challenges in like logistics, in payment and interest. So at this moment, how are you solving those challenges? Are you using any digital solutions around those challenges, or are you, still solving them manually?
So okay, so yeah, I see the question here. So okay, so for apps, probably we now we are web based. Zulux is web based platform, but probably we will go to the apps. We are going to develop the app as well. Because why we need why now we not I mean be the apps now, because I thought we think that web-based or app is not the big it's not really important, because now we think that as long as we can have good brand, and as your people get the big value from us, then we doubt the app is maybe better. But if not, even we providing apps, they will down and delete it very soon, and the marketing for for get people for each download is high. So that's we think if we can optimize the web-based good, we still can get the same effective providing apps. So yeah, so not now, but in the futures, very soon we as well we providing the apps as well. And digital solution, sure, yeah, we need it because we want to transform from the traditional business like luxurious business to the new new form with a lot of digital solution. For example, so we before luxuries because luxury is always selling at the store, but now we are selling but with a lot of digital channels, website, and as well the social page as well, and as well all our operation now is needs a digital solution as well. So yeah, so I think every business is now need a digital solution.
Thank you, Mr. Hiển. The time is almost over. So if anyone has more questions for our speakers.
Yeah, maybe I could take the chance to ask a question to it's open to all the speakers. Yeah, I'm Michelle from Quest Ventures, and I thank BSSC IVP for inviting all the speakers to share with our Vietnam Global Innovation Startups. So maybe a question that's very relevant right now is that because of COVID, there's travel restrictions. And I think in Asia, we're so used to doing business development, market development face-to-face, and also through business missions or setting up a BD team within the country itself. In this situation where we are unable to travel and maybe physically set up our team in Vietnam, maybe could you share one of your advice? How do they build new relationships with the Vietnamese local companies, potential business partners? Maybe just one liner or two from your experience. Yeah, thanks.
So I think Mr. Yang will share, some of your experience, and then Mr. Hiển and then Austin will share, their experience as well. I think it's a great question.
Hi, Michelle. I think it's very difficult for us to work in a distance like Singapore and Vietnam. Especially, I have the experience which I opened a restaurant in Singapore before, and when the COVID time come, then I have to close temporarily in Singapore. I cannot travel to Singapore to see my restaurant, and right now I still cannot travel at all. So this is very, very difficult to work. But in terms of digitalize of our company right now, we move to the cloud kitchen concept, and we think this is a very huge opportunity for Singapore company. They are providing solution for food tech because as I shared just now, cloud kitchen is one of the first food tech in Vietnam that has been introduced, and many of us as an F&B owner, we do not know what is the cloud kitchen at all. And I am the first one to launch this concept in Ho Chi Minh City, and we are competing with Grab Kitchen as well. So I'm not sure how to work with foreign tech startup into a local company right now, but if you guys want to organize some more webinar, I'm willing to ask more F&B owner to join, and then we can share more idea, because at the moment I'm stuck with Singapore and Vietnam as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's really difficult for all the business owners right now, especially with those with overseas presence, like all around the region. Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Anh Hiển, you're on mute.
Okay, so from my experience, I think that even COVID-19, we still find the way, the solution to like still get the connection between the local businesses and as well the foreign businesses. Like I still have a lot of partners that's in Japan and as well in Europe. They are like selling the products through our platform. So we're still working with them like consistently, even COVID-19. We are like have a lot of like online meeting, and as well because even we cannot fly like people cannot fly, but the product still flies. We get the order from Vietnam, so they still ship it, but still deliver it from Japan to Vietnam, even faster, because because they have more flights go, and so that's why I think we're finding the solution, like how we can get keep the constant communication, and as well. But I think for the businesses that need the physical appearance, like a store or something, is hard. But for us, all online, and we're selling online, and we deliver the products. It's just no problem with us. So I still keep working with our partner in Japan, in Europe, still very consistently.
Thank you for sharing. I think it's very important for us to for Singapore startups to find a local partner as well. Yeah, because it could be business as usual, but I think it is at this point in time we definitely need to find like more local partners like yourself. Yeah, for actually go to market. So I think it's extremely important. Yeah, and I'm glad to hear that your partnership with the European counterparts, American counterparts are doing really great. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So COVID time has kind of kept us all at home, but it does mean that it's a pretty good time, I think, to reach out to at least establish kind of first connections and get your market understanding. You're seriously thinking about expanding here. So good ways to connect. I think LinkedIn is excellent. A lot of Vietnamese are now on LinkedIn, and so you can reach out directly to people in your industry, try to set up calls with them, and get kind of the initial market understanding. I think 2 is working through any of if you're looking specific markets, you can look at the accelerator programs that are launched in Vietnam, try to reach out with the the founders of those or the marketing people there, and they can help connect you with some of your target audience that you're trying to talk with. If you're actually trying to do expansion and like market testing, one of the things that we've done in Indonesia, we basically just set up a fan page and basic info like website there, bought the domain, started creating some basic content and running some testing Facebook ads. This is the type of thing that you can basically do from anywhere, and you can maybe prove some of your hypotheses and get a little bit of data on the market, like what is your cost per acquisition or things like that. So I think those would be kind of digital ways that you can both connect and test.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Austin. I think like especially now, the digital economy is kind of like getting more and more developed. So I think a lot of our Singapore startups, be it B2C, B2B, would definitely be able to leverage on like these developments, and really hope that it established really quickly, and then we could like make this entire region kind of like seamlessly connected, so that they can expand really rapidly. Yeah, thank you so much, all three speakers. And I'll pass the time back to Ms. Anha to wrap this up. Thank you so much for your time.
I think that's precisely the reason why we do this, online seminar. We both understand that it's an extremely hard situation, and with them, traveling, it would be very hard to establish business relationship and connections face to face. But with the help of technology and via this online webinar, I know that I still hope for a lot more interaction among the speakers and among the startups. But I think that we need to warming up and gearing up. So our plan is that for the next couple of months, we're going to do monthly online seminar to share the insights, and also to make this a platform to connect the international startup and the Vietnamese startups, and with both ways. I know that many Vietnamese startups want to expand to Singapore as well. So this is a platform that would potentially help to connect those two. So thank you again for all our three very brilliant speakers. Thank you for joining us and taking out your time to share with us your insights today. And thank you for all the international startups that have participated. And we hope that this seminar has given you some of the deeper insights into the Vietnamese market. And these are your potential partners. So keep the connection with the speakers, and we hope that there will be some fruitful, collaboration later on. Yeah. Thank you, Michelle, for supporting us to organizing this web seminar. We're looking for more online seminars to come.
Yes, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you.